Imagine a perfect world where two giants of the comedy universe join forces to create the greatest goddamn movie that no one ever paid to see. Those men are Rick Moranis and Tom Arnold. That movie, the critical and box office flop 1996's Big Bully. The movie starts out in 1970 when a younger version of Rick Moranis' character, David Leary, is the day-to-day bitch of the younger version of Tom Arnold's character, Roscoe Bigger, also known as Fang. You see, David Leary is just another stereotypically timid, nerdy kid that gets picked on by a tubby, freckle-faced, red plaid jacket-wearing fuckhead that is Roscoe Bigger. But you see, Fang was not just some portly little fucking dickhead who gave David a little bit of shit now and then. He would literally piss in his apple juice, mount on top of him and chant the polar bear song like he's fucking got him in the cowgirl position, punching him. Teacher, teacher, floating down the Delaware, chewing on her underwear, couldn't afford another pair. 10 days later, eaten by a polar bear. That's how the polar bear died. And I'm sure that even in rare moments, that Fang would stick his ass to David's face and force him to felch shit from his freckled, slightly reddened ass. And if you don't know what felching is, it's sucking someone's asshole. Usually sucking semen out of it. Just for those that don't understand the term. However, that wouldn't be possible without an R rating, so carry on, ladies and gentlemen. You see, back in those days before internet porn and smartphones, people would go ape shit over anything that involved space travel, because life is pretty fucking dull. What else do you do, jerk off? There's this huge, overblown assembly at the school, where a rock that came from the fucking moon was being displayed. Now, this wasn't no penny ante shit. This was pretty serious. I mean, so serious, they had to enlist a security guard that looked like a fucking goddamn disheveled Robert Goulet in a cream white crossing guard uniform. He's like, fly me into the fucking moon. Yeah, it's fucking Robert Goulet, ladies and gentlemen. Well, Fang stares at the moon rock like it's a double cheeseburger served on the ass of Charlene Tilton as he rudely holds up the line like he's some douchebag zoning out on Hamburger Helper in a grocery aisle. But anyhow, when you look like Robert Goulet, minus the tuxedo and the microphone, and your garden is something as downright fucking incredible as a moon rock, dude, you gain the attention of an attractive female. I mean, it's obviously, I'm not even adding this. In the movie, it is implied that this woman must have a fucking thing for goddamn either Robert Goulet or security guards, because it is implied that they fucked behind the curtains. Hi there, Mr. Security Guard. May I please suck on your dick? And he's all, well, come on and suck upon my dick. And the next thing you know, the Goulet's totally frantic. The teacher's pulling up her pantyhose because everybody finds out the fucking moon rock was stolen despite it being like 300 fucking people in that gym. Well, anyways, our nerdy fucking timid asshole friend David catches fucking Fang red-headed with the moon rock in the woods, and he begins to wonder, gee, should I be a complete pussy and snitch on him, or should I keep my trap shut? Well, he finds out later that day by his father, who looks like a balding Richard Ginny, that they're having to move. So without missing a beat, he turns Fang into the principal, played by Don Knotts. Dude, he fucking looks like a goddamn shriveled up testicle that has a toupee and a bow tie on. I swear to God, look at him. Well, anyways, the day before Halloween in 1970, Rick Moranis leaves his hometown, but as they head out, he watches Fang, a mere 10-year-old boy, handcuffed and being escorted to a cop car for stealing the moon rock. Now, you gotta figure, he probably found out it wasn't edible, and, he's probably fucking stupid enough to think he could eat it. But he's probably gonna beat David to death with it anyway, so, the little fucking plaid jacket wearing cocksucker had it coming. Fuck him. Alright, well, let's fast forward to present day, which when the movie was filming was 1995. Well, David's living in Oakland with his son and is now a hack writer that writes fiction no one gives a flying fuck about. The chemistry with his son can best be described as dysfunctional at best. It's the equivalent of some folksy old asshole like Ken Barry off Mama's Family trying to raise a gangsta-type kid that thinks he's Tupac, but he's about as intimidating as the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Hell, he's about as goddamn fucking intimidating as Carlton off Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, ladies and gentlemen. So David gets tired of falling asleep to the sound of sirens, because he lives in the middle of the ghetto. So he decides to head back home to Minnesota because he's broke as fuck, desperate as fuck. School wants him to teach a writing class, and dubs him the town hero. You see, I didn't realize that ratting a kid out for stealing a fucking rock was such a heroic act. I guess I guess going around in a van solving mysteries with your dog is just minuscule horse shit compared to narking over a stupid rock. But I mean, you can, I had an idea for a show that involved that, and this fucking cold bitch named Hanna-Barbera, that fucking asshole. She stole my idea and got rich off of it. Well, fuck her. Narking over the rock, what the hell do I know? I mean, teaching this old school cannot be any less lucrative than writing fiction no one gives a fuck about. Well, anyways, David gets back to his 2-bit jerkwater town and finds out 90% of the people he went to 4th grade with teach here, and they smoke, like even the most seasoned porn starlet. Except for his crush, Victoria, played by Bruce Springsteen's ex, Julianne Phillips. He's had a boner for her since 4th grade. I mean, he sees that she's turned into a complete MILF that's probably banged half the town, but you know what? David knows that he has a shot. I mean, even if he scores, his dick's gonna look like a sugar cube going into a horse's mouth when he's fucking her. But hey, I mean, old flames don't go out just because a million people pissed on him, right? Well, later on, more familiar faces pop up. Don Knotts is still the goddamn principal, and he looks exactly the same. He looks like a wax figure, crippled with erectile dysfunction, but still possessing the ability to spout off feeble one-liners. The other familiar face? Roscoe Bigger, his former bully, unbeknownst to David, of course. Well, Tom Arnold shows up wearing a bad toupee and a blue lab coat, looking like a neckbeard cosplaying as a rejected Muppet Babies character. Honestly, he kind of looks like Bunsen or Beaker from the Muppet Babies, all grown up. Oh, Bunsen! Oh, guys! He kind of sounds somewhere between Bunsen and Meatwad. Well, after a little playful back-and-forth banter with the possibility of some late-night drinks and drunken kissing and maybe some sexual experimentation in a hot tub, Tom Arnold reveals his name, which prompts David to shit his pants when he finds out his former bully is now a shop teacher and a Jim Henson reject. What a fucking pathetic motherfucker. Well, anyways, Ross's life is not much better than David's at this point. Well, let's start off. You get butt-fucked to the extreme by the legal system for stealing a stupid rock, so you end up teaching shop to a bunch of disrespectful fuckheads who treat you like a real dipshit, like you're David Spade. You come home to your single-wide trailer that is cramped as fuck with your wife and 4 asshole boys. His wife, Faith, played by Carol Kane, is so fucking pale that she looks like Ross strangled her and she lay dead for 12 hours before being revived. And it seems that his wife is more concerned with smoking cigarettes and drinking tab than fucking her husband. Hell, I can tell you how many times Ross has slept with his wife since they were married. 4 times. If it results in a pregnancy, you get 5 minutes in heaven. I mean, hell, it can't be worse than banging Roseanne Barr. I mean, hell, fucking Tom Arnold should get the Congressional Medal of Honor for having to fuck that loudmouthed asshole. But it's not very long before Ross finds out that his old victim, David's now the writing teacher. See, I imagine Ross popped a hellacious boner when he found that out. I mean, when you're in a loveless marriage with a chick that played Lotka's girlfriend in Taxi, and the only other notable ass you've had otherwise is a loudmouth asshole like Roseanne, I mean, you'd consider flirting with and potentially fucking the dude from Strange Brew. Well, the middle-aged bullying tactics are mere child's play. I mean, flicking peas at David, but I mean, that's a gateway tactic. Soon it'll evolve into a picture shrine, and then Tom Arnold and Rick Moranis making a fuck sandwich with Julianne Phillips in bed while giving each other a high five. Oh, Tom! Oh, Rick, I'm gonna come, buddy! Oh, I'm gonna come! Could you picture Tom Arnold having sex? Oh, I'm balls deep, buddy! Oh yeah, Tom, balls deep? About as deep as you were with your career got, as deep as your career got after this? Oh, so what's that, about 3 inches? Hey, fuck you, buddy! Oh! Well, things really begin to escalate as Ross begins to feel like he's 10 years old again. David gets invited to this dance where he dresses up like the cowboy from the Village People, because women love a dude who still dresses like it's 1978. Now, things are going pretty good for David here. He might be able to get a little sugar time with Bruce Springsteen's ex until he completely spazzes balls over the punch that Ross brings him and his date. Well, Ross is wearing these goddamn coveralls and a fucking brown cowboy hat. He looks like a goddamn Idaho potato farmer that turned into a pimp. Well, you know what? If I know 2 things, it's pussy and potatoes. He doesn't even look like a bully. He looks like a goddamn Idaho pimp. Well, David's spazzing out over the punch. And he knocks it on the chick's titties. He's trying to clean it off with a napkin. Well, him spazzing out, he made his chances of nailing the girl remote. He has a better chance of deflowering Tom fucking Arnold's asshole than Victoria's. See, the thing is, David's son's at the dance with his stoner fucking Canuck friends and ultimately embarrasses him after his dad spazzes out like a complete dipshit. Ben storms out of the dance with thoughts of punching his dad in the nuts while he's sleeping. Instead of bashing in a pair of balls his dad never uses, he'd rather run away, which is the 90s answer to deactivating your Facebook page. You see, but the feud eventually comes to a head, though. As David waits 25 years to tell Fang what he did. I narked on you for stealing the moon rock, dude. And there it is. Like the bitch switch, the dick switch, rather, had been flipped. Tom Arnold's playful dipshit antics, escalate into a full-blown psychotic episode. I think to prepare for the scene, he was submitted to repeated PowerPoint slides of his cock, followed by a picture of Roseanne Barr, his ex-wife, laughing about it. They end up in an on-foot chase that ends up for the park where they used to fight each other. Well, David ends up kicking Ross's ass with a piece of driftwood, knocking him off a fucking log into a river below, way fucking down. Well, David goes back home, lays in his warm bed with sugar plums and shit dancing in his head, to see Tom Arnold ready to fucking kill him. I don't blame the motherfucker. Well, as they push each other on the bed, it looks like they're two lumberjacks dry humping each other in a bed and breakfast in rural Wisconsin. Their sons catch him in the act. Instead of respecting the obvious sexual tension between the two, they tell him to bury the hatchet. See, that's when the movie begins to close. Rick Moranis and Tom Arnold got to deflower each other's assholes. Moranis got to bang the Victoria chick still, even after he spazzed out, and they end up leaving for New York, where he'll once again fall asleep to the sound of sirens, and hopefully he'll find one person in this whole world willing to read and buy his shitty fiction. But Tom Arnold, of course, hitches up his trailer and all his meal ticket children, and begins to follow Moranis to New York as the credits roll. There was supposed to be a sequel, but when you make $4 billion on a $50 million budget, chances are a sequel's going to be fucking direct-to-YouTube horseshit. But you know what? I just want to say something, though. Big Bully is still quite the delightful little romp, despite being a critical and box office failure, grossing a mere $4 million on a very modest budget of $15 million. Now, this would be the next to last live-action film that Rick Moranis appears in before ultimately retiring from acting to raise his kids. It is also of note that he was also in the Disney World ride Honey, I Shrunk the Audience. So all the male riders can watch their cock get smaller before their very eyes. And, of course, a little update on Rick Moranis. He was offered a role in Ghostbusters, the remake. But even in his 60s, Rick Moranis can still smell shit from a mile away. Good call, Ricky boy. Well, anyways, Big Bully came around that span of time when Tom Arnold was given about 3 years to prove his worth to audiences before he was tossed away into the toilet of history with copies of Van Halen 3 and Howard the Duck. But whenever he was headlining a movie such as Carpool or given a supporting role in 9 Months with Hugh Grant, he always got this wall-eyed, loudmouth, but likable dipshit thing going on. He displays it balls out here in Big Bully. Honey, they have a sale on power sanders down at the lumber station. His eyes are bulging out like a fucking teenager gazing at his first porno mag. But by 1997, after America was dealt a triple whammy of The Stupids, McHale's Navy, and even the Big Bully, Tom Arnold was pretty much knocked off as a headliner of films and had to be the spokesman for the now-defunct internet service provider Web TV. You can look it up on Wikipedia, bitch. But, I mean, I guess when you fuck Roseanne Barr, the putrid smell of her vagina will stick around for as long as Tom Arnold was given first billing in big movies. About 3 years. I give it about 3 out of 4 stars. I realize it's not a masterpiece. Tons of people initially found it to suck ass, and some will still hold that view. It's actually been reported, in real life, no joke, that Tom Arnold was very kind to a fan until Big Bully was brought up. He was unaware that the fan was serious about liking the movie and left the conversation going, "Real funny, smartass!" Not a fucking joke. I mean, you can hate on old Tom Arnold if you wish. I mean, yeah, he took one for the team. He put his cock inside Roseanne Barr, and for a short time was known as Mr. Roseanne Barr. But once he got tired of eating gallon jugs of ice cream in bed with her and having to artificially thicken his dick with silly putty to arouse her, he went off on his own and became a star between 94 and 97. Look, he may have opened her piss flaps, but that opened the door for him to escape. I love Rick Moranis. I love Tom Arnold. I still love Big Bully. Thank you.